Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I'm Jose Magdaleno, the Vice President for Student Affairs here at Lehman College. And we are here today to celebrate the official opening of a facility that serves a very, very critical role in the lives of many Lehman College students and their children. And it's this beautiful child care center to your right and my left. It is a long-awaited and very welcome addition to our campus, and its importance simply cannot be overstated. Its very existence is proof of the fact that Lehman College is committed to the needs of our students, many of whom make our campus their second home. The Child Care Center has helped us support student success for both parents and children. And this new facility represents an opportunity for us to build upon the successful model that we've had in place for many, many years. One of the members of the Child Care Center team said to me, you know, we've had a wonderful staff in place for quite some time. What we haven't had is a facility to match the quality and the commitment of our staff, despite the best efforts of our facilities people here on campus. Those days are over. We now have an outstanding facility to match the quality staff, the committed staff that we have in place. It's very clear to me, and I think to everybody here, that no one sitting here is more responsible for this new child care center than our first speaker. Now in his 24th year as Lehman's president, Dr. Ricardo Fernandez saw the need for an updated facility quite some time ago. And as he often does, he lobbied persuasively to win the approvals needed to make this dream a reality. And he followed its design and construction step by step by step. And those of you on the President's cabinet can fondly recall the questions that he would pose to us about what's happening with the Child Care Center? What's happening with the Child Care Center? So he was on top of this from the very beginning and pushed and cajoled and lobbied and did all the things that an outstanding president always does. And it's finally here. So it is certainly my pleasure to invite to the podium President Ricardo Fernandez to lead off our dedication ceremony. President Fernandez.
Thank you, Vice President Magdaleno. It is indeed a pleasure to be here this morning, and I thank you all for joining us for this very special and joyful occasion. I'm especially grateful to our friends and supporters over the years, including our elected officials. I want to point out one of them, Senator Gustavo Rivera, who's sitting right here in front. I mentioned him because he was here for the groundbreaking, and now he's here for the grand opening. So welcome, Senator Rivera. I would also like to thank Patricia Lewis, the regional manager of the New York State Department of Children and Family Services, who is here on behalf of Governor Andrew Cuomo of New York. And also Monica Major, the Director of Education and Youth Services for the Bronx Borough President's Office. And of course, I want to acknowledge several of our esteemed colleagues from the City University of New York, particularly Iris Weinschall, who is the CUNY Vice Chancellor for Facilities Planning, Construction, and Management. Dr. Frank D. Sanchez, CUNY Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs. And Betty Pearsall, CUNY Director of Child Care and Disability Services. This building could not be here without their full and complete support. Not only is Lehman College's new child care center a beautiful piece of architecture that adds to the collection of artistic styles that we have on this campus, which range from Gothic to modernist, but it's also an impressive feat of engineering that epitomizes the technological prowess of our times. Over the course of 3 days, in September of last year, the building you see here was assembled like a jigsaw puzzle. The Lehman community was astonished as we gathered to watch a massive giant crane across the street lift 22 modules, just pick them up like that and then bring them over the trees into here. Each one of these modules weighed 18 tons from the parking lot over where they had come there in the gloom of night or early morning from a factory in Pennsylvania. The crane lifted each one of them over Golden Avenue. Of course, there was no traffic at that point. And each module was put in place one at a time until the whole building was finished. And just like that, the building was done. Of course, you know, these modules had to be connected, electricity had to be installed, we had to get water flowing and all of these details. And then, of course, we needed certificates and ability to use the building. So we've worked on that, and in fact, we're still working on some of that. But we're here, and we're happy to we're happy to be having this opening. But over those 3 days, this part of the campus went from a cement foundation, which literally that was all there was here, literally a hole in the ground, to the latest architectural germ to grace our campus. And now, even as we speak, the children in the Child Care Center learn to play in modern, sun-filled classrooms with large glass sliding doors. However, this building is much more than a classroom. For more than 30 years, it has been our honor and privilege to take care of our students' children. And that is a mission and a responsibility that we at Lehman take very, very seriously. And that is why Lehman was one of the first CUNY schools to open a child care center. So if you spend time on campus, particularly if it's a beautiful sunny day, you will see the children from the Lehman Child Center walking as a group around campus, led by a member of the center staff. And even as we go about our busy days working, you go out and you see these children and you smile because they're so wonderful to have them on campus. And the sound of them talking and laughing and giggling fills the air and makes our campus that much more beautiful. These children have a unique opportunity to benefit from the physical beauty of our campus while receiving an outstanding educational enrichment within the center. Similarly, their parents have a chance to explore all that Lehman College has to offer academically, socially, and culturally. They can also rest with the knowledge, and this is very important, that their children are in the best of care. So, welcome to this opening ceremony, and thank you again for joining us this morning.
Thank you, President Fernandez. Before I welcome the next speaker to the podium, there are several other individuals that I'd like to recognize as well. And I would ask them to stand. A special acknowledgement and thanks go to Child Care Center Executive Director Dawn Barton and Director Jackie Moorer for their participation and recommendations as the project has unfolded. I also want to thank Axis Construction for their hard work on this project, and Garrison Architects for their unique and forward-looking design. I would also like to acknowledge John Bongiorno of Axis Construction, who is here for his dedication. Mr. Bongiorno, please stand. And before we go any further, I would like to thank Assistant Vice President Renee Rotolo of Lehman College's Office of Planning and Facilities for her diligent work in the creation of this building and her talented staff, including Jazina Boma. Jazina, please stand. Most certainly, we would be remiss if we did not thank all the many people at the CUNY Department of Design, Construction, and Management, such as Anton Wolf-Schorndel, who's given his continual support for all things Lehman. And for that, we are deeply grateful. Anton, please stand. Thank you. I'd also like to thank Jim Holtzgreven, the college's project manager with the Department of Design, Construction, and Management in Vice Chancellor Weinshall's office. I'd also like to extend our heartfelt thanks to Howard Altschiller, Gwen Perlman, Robert Lemieux, Ali Vedavars, David Galarza, Elizabeth Friedman. Bear with me, it's a long list, but they all deserve thanks. James Galiba, Adewale Adekoya, Jeffrey Weinstein, Michelle Bent, and Megan Moore-Wilk. Please all stand so that we can show our appreciation to all the men and women who have played such a critical role in the creation of this splendid, splendid building. Thank you so very, very much. I would like now to welcome our next speaker to the podium, Patricia Lewis. Ms. Lewis is the Regional Manager of the New York State Department of Children and Family Services, and she's here today representing our governor, the Governor of New York, Governor Andrew Cuomo. Ms. Lewis.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Pat Lewis. I'm the New York City Regional Office Director of the New York State Division of Child Care Services. On behalf of Governor Andrew Cuomo and New York State Office of Children and Family Services Commissioner Gladys Carrion, I'm pleased to take part in today's ribbon cutting and opening ceremonies. We wish all the best for the children, parents, teachers, and staff of the Lehman College Child Care Center. I know that it is so exciting to watch your plan for a new facility take shape and come into being, a place where quality child care can be provided, because that is what we want for our children, quality child care. And the early years are so important to a child's development. Children need to be provided with space to play and to learn, and that is what this new setting can provide, along with the dedication and joyful work of the center's administration and staff. Lehman has put a lot of thought into what it is that children need to learn and to grow. And they now have the ability to provide care for what I understand is about 140 children, twice the number they previously were able to enroll. Toddlers, preschoolers, and after-school children. It must have been fascinating to watch this building being constructed, watching the modules being put into place, changing the face of the campus. Everything well-planned and new, the building just waiting to open its doors to the children of Lehman College. It's terrific that childcare can be provided right on the campus where their parents are attending classes. It's supportive to both the children and the parents. And New York State is pleased that we're able to assist income-eligible students by providing subsidy to help support their childcare needs. We wish all good things for everyone involved, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Lewis. I would now like to welcome and thank one of the true innovators in CUNY. She makes real the projects that the rest of us can only imagine. Vice Chancellor Iris Weinshall oversees the university's award-winning design and planning initiatives and is responsible for a wide range of operations, from capital construction and rehabilitation programs to monitoring and supporting the 26 million square foot, 300-building CUNY plant. Prior to joining CUNY in 2007, she served the city of New York for 25 years, most recently as the Commissioner of Transportation. Please join me in welcoming Vice Chancellor Iris Weinshall.
Good morning. I was just chuckling with the president. We were here almost a year ago when we opened up the new science building here at Lehman. And the reason why we were chuckling is because I was the only one wearing a coat on the stage, and it was freezing that morning. And he turned to me just now and he said, "Isn't it a little cold?" And I said, "Yeah, maybe we need to have these openings in the summer." Anyway, I'm delighted to be here this morning to celebrate the opening of what could only be called this extraordinary facility. This process truly exemplifies CUNY's mission in action: to create beautiful and sustainable architecture that serves the interests of our students and our communities. And not only that, but to think forward, to embrace the technologies and innovations that will create the landscape of our future city. This new center is not your everyday building. It represents the cutting edge in architecture, modular design. Comprised of 22 steel and concrete modules, each weighing 18 tons, the center was largely built in a Pennsylvania facility before being transported here to the Bronx. We benefited from the precision of a factory setting and saved time and money. And now we're here in a 2-story, $6.3 million structure. Modular design is innovative, it's creative, and it's hitting its strides in New York City. I'm delighted that CUNY is here at the forefront of modern design and economic efficiency. We're so pleased that Lehman was open to using this process. It feels like a perfect fit of timing and opportunity. This new child care center and its 12,000 square feet of space had been long needed by a college with lots of trial and error in pursuit of meeting that need. It's taken a long time, but it feels so appropriate that Lehman would have this new design process. Building block architecture that creates light-filled space full of possibility. The center's design has been a true collaboration, yielding some beautiful and intriguing results. A light-filled, airy space that helps you look up and out. The center's 6 classrooms, a multi-purpose room, after-school and playground spaces are all positioned off the central entry space for high efficiency and access. The layout is simple, spacious, and open. The wire mesh and planters built along the outside of the building will allow teachers and students to grow their own ivy, providing an architectural template for creation and growth. The building is environmentally friendly, practically designed, and beautiful. I want to acknowledge Garrison Architects for a job supremely well done, and Access Construction, who met the complex needs of the space subsurface conditions. We're so grateful to Lehman for their cooperation and collaboration in the many stages of this project. And in particular, I want to give a shout out to President Fernandez for his leadership and his vision, and to his wonderful administration, particularly Renee Rotolo, who had the original inspiration to use this site for the project, as well as Gazino Buma. Thank you very much. And I want to give a particular thanks to Dawn Barton and J.C. Maurer and the wonderful staff of the Imagine Early Learning Center programs. You are an inspiration for all your help. I also want to thank the governor for all his support, not only here at Lehman, for all of our CUNY 24 campuses. Without the governor's support, none of these projects would be done. I know that Jose already gave a shout out to my staff, so I don't want to repeat their names. I always like to say, you know, I get to stand up here, I get to make the speeches, but it's really because of this great staff that I have at CUNY that I'm able, and they are able, and we are able to accomplish all this. So I think that the staff at the facilities really deserves another round of applause. So we're also proud of this exemplary facility, and we look forward to the successes it's going to inspire, as well as to similar successes we hope to bring to other CUNY campuses. To everyone who helped to make today possible, congratulations and thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chancellor Weinschel. For over 20 years, our next speaker has worked to advance campus student services, programs, and policies aimed at increasing student success and degree completion wherever he has worked. We're fortunate that he has been working for CUNY since 2011, and I'm very pleased to be able to welcome to our campus once again and to the podium the CUNY Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs, Dr. Frank Sanchez. Frank.
Well, thank you, Vice President Magdaleno. Good morning. You know, there are really a whole variety of reasons why we're celebrating this morning and why this facility and these services, childcare services, are incredibly important to our students. But before I share with you kind of why I think it's so important for Lehman campus and for its students, there are a number of important folks I also need to recognize. Certainly our elected officials that are here today, every single one of you, it is with great gratitude and appreciation that you're here, and I thank you for time and time again. Our elected officials support the City University of New York. You know, this fall we're enrolling over 275,000 students across CUNY, degree-seeking students, another 250,000 in adult and continuing education, and our elected officials understand the importance of the City University of New York, and I thank them for being here. Also, Vice Chancellor Weinschel, for your leadership and vision for this facility and your entire team. You know, over the last year and a half or so, I think I heard that over 20% of all building in New York City has been tied to CUNY. That simply cannot happen without great leadership at the central office, and I thank Vice Chancellor Weinschel and her team. I also want to recognize Betty Pearsall, our University Director of Child Care Centers. Betty, thank you so much for your leadership, not just supporting our child care centers across the City University of New York, but Ms. Pearsall also provides leadership at a regional and a national level to ensure that we have the very best support in child care, both regionally and nationally. And then finally, I want to recognize President Fernandez and Vice President Magdaleno. You know, you, in terms of your support and leadership to ensure that your students at Lehman College get the very best support, the very best guidance and counseling and advising really is second to none among our senior colleges. So thank you. And so a couple reasons why I think it's important that we're celebrating today. One, this facility is going to allow us to expand the number of children that are going to be able to take advantage of a safe and nurturing and high quality educational experience. You know, today we have over 18 child care centers, and with this center, we're going to be able to serve across the city over 1,400 children so that their parents can get an education. And this is really another reason why we're celebrating today, is that not only are we providing these children a great educational experience, but their parents, because of this facility, because of this service, the parents are going to be able to get a high quality degree, When you know that your son or your daughter can be given to a place that is going to care about them, is going to nurture them, it just gives an incredible peace of mind to our parents so that they can focus on getting a great degree. And so that's another reason why we're here. And then finally, CUNY often boasts about, we are educating the next generation of leaders and educators. This facility actually allows our parents to raise the next generation of leaders and educators. And for that reason, we're so appreciative. Congratulations to the administration here at Lehman and to the entire staff and the entire community at Lehman College. Congratulations and job well done. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chancellor Sanchez. I would now like to welcome our next speaker to the podium, Betty Pearsall. Betty Pearsall, as Frank mentioned, is the CUNY Director of Child Care and Disability Services. Betty, please join us.
Good morning. Good morning, President Fernandez, Vice Chancellor Weinshall, Vice President Magdaleno, Vice President Sanchez. It's wonderful to be here. Senator Rivera, thank you, and thank you for your support. It's great to be here. It's been a long time coming. We've been talking about this for a very long time, but it's wonderful to see this innovative, fabulous facility that will provide wonderful service to our student parents. It is thanks to our Vice Chancellor Sanchez that we at CUNY Child Care have been able to redefine our message to say that we provide support for student-parent success. We provide child care, we provide a quality early childhood education. And it's because, excuse me, of the trained early childhood professionals who work in the center, the leaders of the center, the director, Dawn Barton and Jackie Maurer, who deal with, as Ms. Lewis knows, with many of the compliances and the regulations, state and city regulations that we must meet. It's not an easy task. And then to work with professional, certified, licensed early childhood educators that provide a quality education to children. And now they're able to do it in this wonderful environment that will only add to their education. I often tease about the children because the children think that they go to college. If you talk to them now, they will tell you that I go to college and I go to Lehman College. And I think that they're probably some of the best advertisements for college. And we probably need to have some recruiters here, admissions here to talk to them. But they do think they go to college. So the idea of college is already ingrained in their minds. And they see their parents achieving their educational goals. And what better role model for children? And so we have this two-generation approach where we support the parents, we support the children, and that can only help support our city, our state, our country, and as Vice Chancellor said, to encourage leaders amongst our city and our nation. And so we're happy to be here today. I congratulate everyone. It's a wonderful facility, and we are celebrating with you today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Betty. Great to have you with us here this morning. Our next speaker has waited a very long time for this day. I've had the pleasure of working with her for many, many years, and we've been talking about this new center for quite some time. And when I greeted her this morning, I gave her probably the strongest hug that I ever gave her. Not that I hug her often, but we gave each other, it was sort of a mutual hug. We were delighted to finally have this day at hand. And please help me welcome Dawn Barton, the Executive Director of the Child Care Center, to the podium.
entire process. Thank you. Some of my remarks, I apologize, some of my remarks may be a little repetitive as to what's been already said, but I think it's important. I don't think enough can be said. I'm sure everyone's heard the saying, patience is a virtue. Well, I think that saying was written about this project. Actually, I think this project started before that was written, because it really has been that long. This project has taken many twists and turns over the years. The plans, the designs, the location may have changed, but the original vision remained the same, to expand the center to accommodate more student parents and their children. We are so proud that we are now at the point where we can serve double the families and children from our previous space. This building might not have been here right now if not for the perseverance and tenacity of an amazing project team. And I would like to personally recognize and thank the members of that team. First and foremost, I would like to thank Jim Holtgreven, our project manager. If it wasn't for Jim, this project may have gone the way of all the other attempts. Jim had the pivotal role as the project manager, and he made our center his personal top priority for the past 5 years. He made the deliberate decision to push this forward and to make this happen. He prodded everyone to do their jobs, and he kept putting it on their front burner. And if something was nobody's job, he went and did it. From sketching plans to formatting specs to messaging permits. And he put in many, many hours on this project. I understand the reason that previous attempts did not materialize was because Jim Holtgreven was not their project manager. So Jim, words cannot adequately express our thanks to you. I would also like to thank Anton Lundell for his supervision and contributions to moving this project forward as well. His keen eye and constant questioning every step of the way kept everyone on their toes and kept our project moving. Thank you, Anton, for bringing your wisdom and experience to our project and helping to make this a reality and a building that we are truly proud of. I would like to thank John Bongiorno and Axis Construction for building this fabulous facility. And this project would not have happened if it weren't for the energy and the efforts of the Lehman Campus Facilities Office and an amazing team of designers. Renee Rutola was the vital link for this project. She prodded and pushed this project up many hills. She looked at the plans with a discerning eye and made sure the work was done to code, and many times asked for more. No, demanded more. And Josina Bauman, you understood our needs and the child care perspective, and you always kept that at the forefront for us. We are fortunate that Josina and Renee are right here on campus with us and will help us care for and maintain this wonderful building. It feels as if we're parenting and raising a child together. Campus Facilities also took charge of our move into the new building, which was quite a feat. It was all hands on deck, and we received support from buildings and grounds to public safety to IT. They made themselves available to us and helped us move in, set up, and open and schedule for the student parents and the children without missing a beat. And we are truly, truly thank you for all your energy and efforts. So, it said, good things, no, let's say great things, come to those who wait. Well, we've waited, and we've waited, and we waited some more, but now we have this magnificent new building to call home. And in the very near future, our natural outdoor play space will come to fruition as well. Jim Holtgreven is our project manager on that one. So on behalf of the families and the children of the Lehman College Child Care Center, we thank you. We finally arrived. And we welcome everyone in a few minutes to come in and tour our wonderful new facility. Thank you.
Thank you, Dawn. And finally, we will hear from really the most important constituent group, and that's our students. And we're fortunate to have Daisy Seaman, a Lehman College senior, here with us today. She's majoring in recreation with an exercise science and sports minor. And her 3-year-old son, Liam, and 2-year-old daughter, Gabby, are in care in our new center. And please join me in welcoming Daisy Seaman, Cleveland College student, to the podium. Thank you, Daisy.
Wonderful panel behind me. On this kind of overcast morning, in my mind I see nothing but sunshine. It feels like so. I am the luckiest parent and student to have my two children come into this facility. I gotta be very honest with you, when I came to realize that I was gonna have this panel behind me, I felt like I was gonna dig a hole in the ground and bury myself. As nervous as I am, I'm very proud and very grateful to have this new facility because thanks to that, many parents and students now can enjoy what I have been enjoying for 2 years. Before I came to realize that this daycare was here available to the students, I had my 2-year-old son back then climbing the walls. He didn't do much at all. His developmental progress was being limited for being at home so many hours. And when I came home, I came to find a kid that just wanted to play and do things with me, and I was just like, no. I just came from school being there for 6 hours. I'm not for it. After he was enrolled, after the waiting list reached his name, I was very, very glad to see that not only I was lucky, but and for that I'm very grateful. Very grateful to the new facility. Thank you, Ms. Jack. Thank you, Tom and Holly. And special thanks to the teachers that made this happen for me, this happen. Ms. Bianca, Julie, Srita, and the list goes on. They always say it takes a village to raise my kid. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Daisy. I'd now like to ask the President and all of our distinguished guests on the podium to assist us in the cutting of the ribbon. We're going to move over to the left-hand side here for the actual ribbon cutting ceremony itself.
Three. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah!